at the very edge of the old forest, where the grass was so thick that you could hide an entire castle in it, there lived a tiny firefly named Ray. He had transparent mica wings that fluttered amusingly, and a small belly that all decent fireflies should have shone with neon light as soon as the sun disappeared below the horizon. But Ray had one big and very secret problem. He was the only firefly in the world who was afraid of the dark. As soon as the evening shadows began to lengthen and the sun turned into a huge orange sinking into the river, the Ray began to tremble. For him, darkness was not a time for games and dancing. It seemed to him that the night was a huge black cloak that wanted to cover itself from above and hide all the most beautiful things. "Ray of sunshine, come out!" his brothers and sisters shouted, turning on their bright green lights. "Look at how warm it is tonight. We will draw patterns over the pond." But Ray only pressed his paws closer to his sides. His house was a bud of a large white lily that grew near the shore. When dusk fell, the lily petals slowly closed, turning into a cozy and bright tent. Inside the lily, there was always a smell of freshness and honey pollen, and it was not scary at all. "I'll sleep a little more," Ray said, burrowing deeper into the soft stamens of the flower. He wasn't really asleep. He sat in his snow-white shelter and listened to the sounds of the night. It seemed to him that the rustling of a hedgehog in the foliage was the footsteps of a huge monster, and the hooting of an owl was the menacing cry of a night giant. From fear, Ray's flashlight on the tip of his tail barely flickered with a dim, gray light, like a dying spark in a stove. "Why am I like this?" the kid sighed, looking at his paws. "All fireflies are proud of the night, but I want it to always be morning." He dreamed of how one day he would gather the courage and fly high, high to the very stars to prove to everyone, and above all to himself, that he was a real firefly. But for now, Lily was his only salvation. He closed his eyes and imagined that he was a small grain inside a huge white cloud, where there was no place for shadows or fears. Ray did not know that real miracles begin exactly where the usual comfort ends, and that soon he would have to choose between his fear and someone else's big trouble. That evening, the air over the forest clearing was especially clear and quiet. The stars poured out into the sky like scattered silver millet, and the moon turned into a huge head of golden cheese. For all the fireflies, it was a signal for the start of a big celebration, but the Ray, as usual, wrapped itself more tightly in the petals of its favorite lily. However, this time, the silence of his hiding place was broken by a delicate knock. Knock, knock, knock. "Hey, kid, aren't you suffocating in your flower closet?" A raspy but very kind voice rang out. Ray cautiously poked his nose out from behind a white petal. In front of the flower, an old grasshopper, Squeak, sat swaying on a thin blade of grass. He was wearing a tiny tailcoat, and in his paws he was holding his trusty pine bark violin. Nearby, on the lower branch of an old willow, a wise owl, Ukti, settled down, whose eyes shone in the dark like two large lanterns. I'm just checking the softness of the pollen," Ray squeaked, blushing from the tips of his paws to the tip of his nose. "Listen, Ray," Ukti said softly, and her voice sounded like the rustle of leaves. "We all know that you're afraid of the dark, but do you know what darkness really is?" Ray trembled and shook his head. Is it when nothing is visible and fears are hiding everywhere?" "Not at all," Creek exclaimed and lightly struck the strings with his bow. "Darkness is just a huge blank canvas, and we are artists. I paint music on this canvas, fireflies paint patterns with light, and flowers with scents. Without the darkness, no one would notice how beautiful your light is." "But my light hardly shines," Ray sighed sadly, looking at his pale ponytail. "That's because you only shine for yourself," said Kitty, cocking her head to one side. "Real light is born inside when you want to warm someone else. Look at the stars. They are not afraid of the dark. They adorn it." The friends stayed with Lilia for a long time. Creek played a quiet lullaby from which the grasses began to sway rhythmically, and Ukti told stories about distant countries where night is considered the most magical time of the day. Ray listened, and something began to change in his little heart. He was still a little afraid, but now the darkness around him no longer seemed so prickly and evil. She looked like a soft velvet blanket that covers the forest before going to sleep. Maybe I'll try to fly out tomorrow?" Ray asked timidly. But life was different. He didn't have to wait until tomorrow. Suddenly, a thin, plaintive sound came from the depths of the forest, from the direction of the thorn bushes. It was crying, so soft and desperate that Ray took his breath away. Maybe I'll try to fly out tomorrow?" Ray asked timidly. But life was different. He didn't have to wait until tomorrow. Suddenly, a thin, plaintive sound came from the depths of the forest, from the direction of the thorn bushes. It was crying, so soft and desperate that Ray took his breath away. The tip of his belly barely glowed with a dim light, like an old ash spark. But then, from the thicket came the sound of "Pee, pee, I'm cold, Mom." This sound pierced Ray to the very depths of his little being. He suddenly imagined how scared the baby bird was down there on the damp ground, among the huge roots and the night fog. The baby bird was even smaller than Ray himself, and he didn't have a flashlight at all. "He's all alone in there," Firefly whispered. At that moment, something amazing happened inside the Ray. The fear hadn't gone away. It was still a cold lump in my stomach, but something else has appeared. It was empathy. It was warmer and stronger than fear. Ray took a deep breath, spread his transparent wings, and, closing his eyes for a second, pushed off from the edge of his cozy lily. He flew low, just above the ground, feeling the cool night air hitting his face. "I'm coming! Wait, baby! Stop it!" he shouted in a thin voice. He flew into the thick of the darkness, and with each flap of his wings, his flashlight began to pulse a little brighter. It wasn't a dazzling radiance yet, but it was the first real light born from a desire to save another. The ray flew through the dense thickets of ferns, and each leaf seemed to him like a huge, dark giant. Bramble branches clung to his wings, and the night mist enveloped him in sticky coolness. Fear was still whispering to him, "Go back to Lilia, it's bright and safe there." But then he saw him, a small nestling of a burrow crouched in a ball between the roots of an old oak tree. He was so tiny, disheveled, and trembling all over. A large night shadow circled around him. It was a hungry barbel forest beetle, which was already rubbing its long jaws, anticipating easy prey. "Hey, leave him alone," Ray squeaked, but the beetle only wagged its whiskers menacingly. In such darkness, the tiny, dim firefly seemed to the beetle to be just a dying spark that could be easily crushed. Ray realized that if he didn't light up everything around him now, the chick would disappear. He remembered the words of Owl Ukti. "Real light is born inside when you want to warm someone else." The baby closed his eyes and imagined all the warmth of the summer sun, all the kindness of his lily mother, and all the pity for the baby bird. He didn't just want to shine, he was eager to help. And at that moment, an invisible barrier seemed to burst inside the ray. The flash! His small belly suddenly flashed with a dazzling emerald green light. It wasn't a dim flicker, but a powerful radiance that looked like a small fallen star. The darkness beneath the oak's roots instantly parted. Every pebble, every blade of grass became visible as day. The barbel beetle, accustomed to the eternal darkness, squeezed his eyes shut in horror. Such a bright light was unbearable for him. He hissed, clumsily rolled over onto his back, and hurried to hide in the deepest hole. The baby bird stopped crying. He raised his head and saw a little shining hero in front of him. The light of the ray was so warm that the baby bird felt safe. "Don't be afraid," whispered Ray, and his voice sounded confident now. "I'll keep the light on here until your mom finds you." The ray hovered in the air right above the nest, turning into a living beacon. It shone so brightly that it could be seen even from the highest treetops. He no longer looked around in search of monsters. He himself became the one who drives away the darkness. Soon, the sound of wings was heard. The mother bird, attracted by the unusual emerald glow, quickly descended from the branches. She chirped happily, picked up her baby bird, and carefully carried it back to the cozy nest. Ray watched them go. His light was still bright, but now it was calm and gentle. He won. Not a bug or a forest, but your own fear. When the mother bird covered the chick with her warm wing in a high nest, the ray felt incredibly light. His wings worked by themselves, and the flashlight continued to shine steadily and confidently with a beautiful emerald light. He no longer looked around for shadows. Now he knew that the shadows were just running away from him. He slowly flew back to his clearing, but there was a surprise waiting for him along the way. On willow branches, on broad burdock leaves, and right in the thick grass, he was greeted by forest dwellers. The old grasshopper Screepa stood on the highest stone and played a solemn march on his violin. Uti's owl was flapping its wings slowly and importantly, and hundreds of other fireflies were circling in the air, lining up in a sparkling corridor to greet their hero. "Did you see that, Ray?" Creek chirped as the baby sat down on his favorite white lily. "You shone brighter than a comet." I just really wanted the baby bird to stop crying," Ray replied softly, feeling his cheeks flush. "That's the secret," hooted Owl Uti, sinking down next to her. "The brightest light is born not from bravery, but from a kind heart. You conquered the darkness because you stopped thinking about yourself and started thinking about a friend. Now you are the real guardian of the clearing." "Did you see that, Ray?" Creek chirped as the baby sat down on his favorite white lily. "You shone brighter than a comet." I just really wanted the baby bird to stop crying," Ray replied softly, feeling his cheeks flush. "That's the secret," hooted Owl Uti, sinking down next to her. "The brightest light is born not from bravery, but from a kind heart. You conquered the darkness because you stopped thinking about yourself and started thinking about a friend. Now you are the real guardian of the clearing." "Did you see that, Ray?" Creek chirped as the baby sat down on his favorite white lily. "You shone brighter than a comet." I just really wanted the baby bird to stop crying," Ray replied softly, feeling his cheeks flush. "That's the secret," hooted Owl Uti, sinking down next to her. "The brightest light is born not from bravery, but from a kind heart. You conquered the darkness because you stopped thinking about yourself and started thinking about a friend. Now you are the real guardian of the clearing." The sky in the east began to lighten, turning into delicate shades of pink and pearl. The stars went out one by one, giving way to the dawn. Ray felt pleasantly tired. His flashlight began to dim slowly, but now it wasn't a sign of fear. It was a sign that it was time to rest. The white lily opened its petals to the first ray of sunlight, inviting its tenant inside. Ray climbed onto a soft feather bed made of pollen, curled up and closed his eyes. He no longer needed to shut himself off from the world. He knew that when the sun went below the horizon again and the blue night fell on the forest, he would not hide. He will fly out first, light his magic light, and show everyone that the night is a time for miracles, lullabies, and good deeds. Ray fell asleep in the soundest and happiest sleep. and the sun was rising over the forest, warming every tree, every nest, and every little hero who knows that even a tiny light can dispel the greatest darkness.